Well, hello and welcome. I'm Sue Britz,
And I'm Tina Lokkbakk. Welcome to Retired.
the podcast where we talk about what life is like when we put on new tread, new wheels that move us to our next adventure.
Okay, I've been so excited. We have not talked about this yet. So you and I will be the first to know. Sue, how was your trip?
Okay, hold it.
I've been
First of
dying.
all,
What?
my trip was wonderful. And hold it. Isn't this weird? Like, I've missed you. Where have you been? It's been so long. We've gotten
Oh.
into this routine of every week for more than a year.
Mhm.
And
So true.
we've skipped a week or two, but we prepared for it. And this is just longer. I don't know. It was weird. Was it
I
weird for
felt
you?
the same. I
Okay.
felt the same. So I'm doubly excited because we haven't talked. I tried to contain texting you. You're on vacation, but it was hard. It was hard because it's like, you're right. We've been meeting every week. I love this, but I'm also so excited about what you did, what you saw. Like, I've been waiting for the story. Like, I am waiting. I have been waiting patiently.
Okay. All right.
So
So I will start
hi.
off by saying hi. So I'll start off by saying, don't you look at your Facebook page?
Sue, you know how I am. I am like the anti-social mediaist. Like, I get on there because I have to, because there's something. And I've been trying a little bit with Instagram. And I just realized that I accidentally posted because it's connected to my Facebook, thinking I was doing it to Instagram. Instead, it's on Facebook. And then I don't respond to people. I think that's the biggest pressure is if I get on it, it really is a time sink for me because I get sucked in because then all of a sudden it says all these friends that want to be your friend. I'm like, and then, it's too much. And so if I go to look at your thing, then I get feeds and other things. And then I'm off. And then before you know it, 2 hours is gone. I'm feeling depressed because I wasted my time going down these rabbit holes to nowhere. So yeah, no, I don't.
That was a
And I'd
long
rather
answer.
hear from your voice.
That was a long answer. No, but
Yes.
it's kind of funny because, social media, it does do all those things. And yet, if you enjoy doing it, then it's fun. And you can also, I think that the more you use it, you can figure out how to put the brakes on it, how not to go down those
Oh.
rabbit holes. You can just use it for your purposes. So the reason I ask about Facebook, because it's like I've been talking about all my stuff or showing all my adventures on Facebook as I've gone. And part of that is because, I'm excited and I want to share stuff, but more realistically, and it's true, people maybe don't believe me, but it's very true. I have all these photos and I create all these videos and I don't have space to put them.
Oh, so
And it's not,
true.
yeah, it's not like easy or
It's like your photo album.
and I've had bad situations with external hard drives where I've lost everything, and it's like,
No.
okay, and it's an interesting exercise to go through that. But so what I've decided to do is like do this and put it on Facebook. It's like an album, and it lets me, and then it also gives me my memories every year, and I can go, oh yeah, and remember that stuff. You don't even have to pull the album out; it just happens, and it's kind of nice to see what was happening a year ago, 10 years ago, 14 years ago, whatever it was, and then offload it. So what I do is I create, when I have some time in the evening, I'll create my video, and then which synthesizes, puts it all together in a smaller amount, and then I get rid of all the other footage off my phone because my storage gets used up all the time. Now, I know I could pay for more storage, but I don't want to pay for more storage. And so I got a ton on Facebook, and then the other place I haven't uploaded yet. I do it at the end of doing them all. I upload it on my YouTube channel, which like no one goes
I
to.
didn't even know you had a YouTube channel.
Well, of course, but no one goes there, but they're all there.
Oh.
And so like my family can look at them or whatever if they wanted to. I can go find them again. It's another storage place so that I'm not putting all my chicks in one basket. So there we go.
That's very Easter appropriate of you. Yes.
Well, Easter's done and over, girl.
Yeah.
Spring is here. So really, you can't hear that sound, that truck outside?
I really can't. But can we now get to the thing? Like, okay, first,
Yes. Okay.
How
So
long can you be specific first? How long were you gone? Refresh everybody's memory. Where did you go? And then we'll get into details.
everybody's memory. Okay. So no, we were gone for like 17 days. It was great. We arrived in London Heathrow, took a train to Bath, the city of Bath,
Bath.
which has all the ancient Roman the Bath, and what was interesting on that part was um, we apparently, so this was on a Sunday, so apparently on Sunday, what we were told that people who work on the trains, it's optional to come in according to their union. So they don't, that not all people come in, and so they lost a lot of the trains, the scheduled trains, and so there's lots of people wanting to ride, and so they were packed. The trains were literally packed with people. You could hardly even get in. We had to stand the whole time with our luggage, and that was like 2 hours by the time we got off, which was really kind of, you know,
How do you plan
in the
anything?
old
That's
days. In the old
terrible.
days, doing that as a student, you're like, no big deal. You laugh it off and all that. You sit on the dirty floor. You don't care.
Right.
I considered sitting on the dirty floor, but I didn't know that I would be able to get up. And all these. I'm serious. Poor Melinda with her leg injury. She's recovering from a broken leg, and this was painful, literally painful.
God,
And
I forgot about that
there's
too.
all this stuff that you take for granted when you're young. But anyhow, poor us, we're going to Bath. We had to suffer through that. So, I mean, as much as one might, go, oh no, but we arrived, and it was a beautiful, uh, very old fashioned, beautiful resort, very English estate kind of thing. We had amazing food. They have beautiful gardens, beautiful walks. Got to tour the town and really relax and get acclimate. That was our purpose, was to
And the
acclimate
weather?
to the town. The whole time, our weather was amazing. Our weather, we had sprinkles on the last day that we left, and that was it. People kept saying, when they'd say, "Oh, where are you from?" and I'd say, of course, California, not United States. I'd say California,
Yeah, that's
and
safe.
they'd say, "Well, thanks for bringing the weather, your weather with us." And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. Happy to do so." But no, we had amazing weather and sun, and there was a couple days that it was overcast, but it was just like here at home, nice and cool and nice. And actually, some days it was hot. It's like, man, I didn't need to worry about bringing a sweatshirt or anything.
Wow.
So yeah,
So
but
weather gods came. All right, good.
absolutely. And then the adventure began in real because we're going to Halifax, and this was the
Okay,
purpose of
now
this
wait.
trip.
How many days were you in Bath?
I think it was 3 nights. It was
Perfect.
delightful.
Okay. All right, I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm
So we're
ready for Halifax. Okay.
acclimated, and I'll tell you this, acclimating there when you're excited about travel trip and everything is a lot easier than coming home. Or maybe it's because you've acclimated twice in such a short period of time.
Uh,
I'm still dragging a little, in the middle of the night, I'm like, and it feels different than the normal, in the middle of the night. So, but anyhow, um, on to Halifax, and that was the purpose of this trip. So we got on the train, and we arrived in Halifax. It's it's so this is the town from Gentleman Jack, and it's also
Thank you. I
from.
was going to ask you to recap.
This is the
Uh-huh.
purpose of we're going for the Ann Lister birthday week. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but it's also the town that has a lot of TV shows and movies that have been filmed there because it is this interesting mix of modern everyday life, but also it's got this old fashioned feel. And there are places that the buildings are so old, the whole rows of them, that show a time period or the time periods and it's easier. I'm like, for a TV show or for a film crew to take you back in time. And so that was the biggest thing I will have to say that impressed me of all of this was really feeling like just stepping back in time. So fine, we got on trains and all that, but Bath was kind of old fashioned and beautiful, and the gardens and the gentility, and then Halifax it's a working class town, and
Oh.
it's got industrial it historically has had mills and mines, and it's hardworking people, and and then there's all these old buildings that are just right there. I mean, I guess there's some modern buildings too, but the area that we stayed in and walked around in mostly was this modern, excuse this, going back in time, and then, oh,
So it's like your own like mini Renaissance fair experience.
well, it was going back into, I mean, their buildings are hundreds of years old, and we're talking about Ann Lister's time was 1800. She died in 1840, so 1800 was the time. So that's quite a bit a time ago. A lot of the places, like the house Shibden Hall, was built in 1420. So
Wow.
before the United States was even a thing. And of course, I mean, our
Wow.
native peoples were always here, and I want to acknowledge that. And there was amazing civilization and buildings and growth and everything
Right.
on our
But the
continent.
European influence had
But
not come
just to
yet.
and these buildings are still standing, and you're like, wow, yeah. So you go back in time, and I've been to Europe before, and I've seen this, but this felt different. It felt, maybe because it was in English, I think primarily because I went with this focus on Gentleman Jack. And
That's what I
so,
was thinking too. So your mind was already in that setting.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Gentleman Jack is a TV show that was produced by BBC and HBO, and it tells the story of Ann Lister, who was a resident of Halifax at it back, as I said, in 1800, and she wrote a diary. We talked about this in our diary episode, where she wrote over 5 million words, and then a lot of them
In
were
code.
encoded, because she talked not only about her daily life, which was she was like so focused on all the details of everything, all the minutia of daily life. So you get to see what life is like. But then she also wrote about her relationships, her longings, and her life. And she was a woman who dressed somewhat like a man, acted somewhat like a man, was confused as for a man, and she was a lesbian. Ended up marrying Anne Walker, and so that, well, obviously didn't have legal marriage, but it was a marriage between the two of them,
Hmm.
and in their church, we got to go to that church, and yeah, it was so cool. But anyhow, your face. So it was kind of fun. I mean, I've been watching this group, this Gentleman Jack group, on Facebook, and seeing this festival going on this is the fourth year, I believe.
So it's
And
relatively new, but they've got the kinks taken out, I'm
yeah,
assuming.
and so seeing people from all over the world that come. I mean, this year's count was, I think, 30 countries. People from 30 countries came, and there was over 650 people that attended.
Large, but not too large.
Right. So there's a lot of people, and there are people like you and me who are, interested in history, that are kind of nerds. They like to write. They're artists. They're professionals. It's an amazing group of people, and what a cool thing that is. This brings it all together. I didn't participate in all the things. So they have this conference now, basically the sessions where you can learn about more about the decoding or transcribing and decoding. You can learn about the daily life of, like, the mills, all the details. And we didn't participate in that. Melinda didn't want to, for one thing, and then I didn't know if I would have the
Energy or
stamina to do it
time.
right. Yeah. So instead, we did the first night. We arrived, and the first night was going to Shibden Hall, where this is where Gentleman Jack was filmed. There's been other shows filmed there too, but this was her estate. And
That's so
we
cool.
arrived. It was dusk, and we got dropped off by Uber out at the parking lot up on the ridge, and you have to walk down. And so you're walking down, the lights changing, you're seeing the wall and the roof, and as you're approaching, you're like, oh, there it is. And it was just, I don't know, it felt,
Like it's real.
and it is real. I mean, that's the cool thing. It's like,
Right. It's
people,
not a movie prop.
yeah, people are into this fandom stuff and fan tourism, and I get that. But this was this is real, and
Right.
this is a real person who had so much courage
Yes.
to be
B.
herself, to live her life, and to
Yes.
really
Counter
change, yeah,
counter normed.
yes, and to
Yeah.
change the world around her. This place
Right.
still exists, and so the estate is on a what is now a park, which used to be the part of the estate. It's I've been reading about people who live in the area and they've gone to this park for years and years. They grew up as kids and they'd go, and no one really thought much about the history of the woman who who's
Gave
the
it all away.
well,
Really.
what do you mean?
Well, she willed it to the government to use as a public place, didn't she?
So when she died, it went to her wife. Her wife stayed there until she died, and then it went to the Lister family. So it was a distant cousin who
Oh,
inherited it. And
that's
then
right.
over time, he couldn't. The family members that inherited couldn't maintain it, and they came to an arrangement with the county there, Calderdale, and so the Calderdale owns the estate, and it's so there's a park there, and people have gone to this park and just enjoyed it. It's got beautiful walking trails and waterfall and a little boat dock and a cafe and da da da, and you can walk hours in this place. And then there's the house, the Shibden Hall itself. So I didn't get to explore everything. We weren't there to do all. We couldn't do everything. We had to
Right,
choose.
exactly.
But we got to go to this event, which was so cool as a welcoming. So we get into Shibden Hall. Um, there are people from the county there who had dressed up in period wear,
I
and
knew it. That's kind of like what I was expecting, like a Renaissance fair atmosphere,
then
like living
and
it.
this year I guess there's a group that became the Ann Lister dancers, and so they even did a dance in the hall there, and so um, but there wasn't a lot of people. I think maybe there were 40 or 50, maybe at the most people. So it wasn't a lot.
Absolutely great. Because I
And
was scared when you said 650, it would be them 650, and now you're all standing outside, Shipton Hall.
oh no, so a lot of these people have been there more than once, and so they for this event they sell tickets, and you got to rush and get those tickets. So
Okay.
yeah, but anyhow, it was so cool because as the lights started changing, uh, it got darker, and you could go and explore and look around. They had the little dance in there, and um, they had the costumes from Gentleman Jack on mannequins, and
Ah,
those were displayed throughout the house. That was pretty cool. So my first experience was in this special, like I've already gone back in time kind of thing. It's something about dusk too, changes the time as you approach a building, and it was magical. It was very cool. And then another cool part was that well, they had uh, a local gin company was doing an original a release of their gin. So they had a gin truck, like a
you
food
like
truck,
gin
where
and
you got
tonic, that
where,
kind of gin?
yeah, where you got to taste their gin. If you wanted to order a gin and tonic, you could do that.
Nice.
Then they also they had found a recipe of uh, from Ann Lister's diary of a lemonade drink, and so they prepared it according to that, and they served that. And then, as people were watching the dancers and stuff, I went and just like looked around. I went out back. I went out to the stables, and I went out back. There was nobody back there. No one else went back there.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
walking around. They have a folk museum in the back where the children's quarters used to be. They have like each individual room has a shop, so it could have been an apothecary or a pub or leather working or wheel working, and each of these they are all you can just go in there and look, and they had the barriers down, and you could walk throughout everything basically, and so that was cool. um yeah, it was an amazing evening.
And by
And
yourself
by myself
through all
back there,
these
no
I
one
mean, that's
else.
so cool.
Yeah, it was
Wonder if
that.
that was a oops, we should have locked the doors, or if
No,
they had it
no,
open
it
for
was
everybody.
open. It was open,
That's
and
so cool.
not everyone has that same interest. This is the cool thing, is everyone got to just do what they wanted to do, and some
Sure.
people wanted to, see the dancers, and I saw the dancers. That was good. All right, whatever. Yeah, those are modern people doing,
The
it was
thing.
good. It was nice. It really added to the ambiance. But I'd rather be out back taking photos of everything and making my video, and so that's what I did. Well, I could go on, but
Well, I have a couple questions then. So I want to know, like, did you and Melinda, since it seems that you got to choose different things, like, did you guys see it from different perspectives? Were you on the same page? Like, how was that just going together to this place? Like, did you get the same things out of it? Did you see it in the same way? Like, what was that like for the two of you?
no, not at all. It's funny. So in previous trips, Melinda hasn't done a lot of travel to Europe. And so she's kind of focused on, which areas would be great to go see. Like we went to Paris and things like that. So this time she said, okay, you choose where we're going to go. And I said, I want to go to Hillis' birthday week. And, she's like, but it's England, but it's England. I mean, that was the cool thing. I think we both really fell in love with England. There's a lot to really love about England, and to explore, and of course having the advantage of being able to read the language and speak it, is very
Sure.
helpful. I mean, a lot of things are very different. The
Mind the gap.
language. Pardon?
Mind the gap.
Yes. So I mean, all the accents, but the vocabulary is different, and it's not always what one thinks. So, for example, the Gentleman Jack, the theme song was written by a folk group called O'Hooley and Tidow. And they performed on the last night that I was there in the Minster, which is the cathedral, the Anglican cathedral. We got to see them too. That was pretty cool. So anyhow, to get those tickets ahead of time, so I bought them over while I was here in California, and they came out. I didn't want them to be sold out, and I'm like, okay, quickly buy the tickets. And there was tickets, and then there were concessions, and so I thought, well, I want concessions. Is it food? Is it buying a t-shirt? What is it? And so I just bought. And it turns out concessions means this is the funny part. Concessions means people who who have disabilities or are over
Oh,
65, or maybe have a low income. And so they make a concession to the
wow. Okay.
price. And yeah, and so yes, I understand, but that's not what came to my mind. So, in the context of a concert,
I
I'm thinking
agree.
concessions
I
is food,
totally
and
agree.
and yeah. So anyhow, we had those extra tickets that we just gave away at the end, but um, it was. I mean, that's an example. So that those kind of things happen, but to answer your question, um, Melinda watched A Gentleman Jack too, and we rewatched it before we went. And she enjoyed it. It's a great series. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it for
I don't think I
everybody.
finished it,
It is
but I
so
did watch
fun.
a lot of it and I liked it. For me, it was the empowerment of a woman. It was her inner strength, I thought, like you felt, that
Yeah.
she could be herself. She was such a wise woman, a shrewd businesswoman. Like, it just kind of made you proud, like, wow, yeah,
And
anyway.
she's a flawed character. She's a real human. She
Well,
made
that's
some
true.
bad judgments and hurt people too, but in the context of the time and place and everything, she was an amazing person. So, um, yeah, so Melinda enjoyed that, and then we watched other BBC shows like Last Tango in Halifax. We really liked that one, and that was, of course, filmed in parts of Halifax as well. So she liked it from that. Oh, I've seen this, or oh, that, and so it was great. It was wonderful. Each event, we went on a walking tour where we got to see the different buildings that were pertinent to Gentleman Jack or to Ann Lister's life, and that was pretty fun. And seeing, oh yeah, I remember seeing that, or so that was cool. And then we had some wonderful conversations with people. We'd sit down and we had great conversations with people who are very interesting, engaging, very knowledgeable, and curious. And so she enjoys that. So, but it's a different thing. She's not such a like over the top, excited about it like I have been. So, yeah.
Well, that's the inner teacher historian, you know,
Feminist.
we eat that stuff up. And that too, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So no, and she's like, because other people go back every year, and I would totally go back, but
Oh,
Mel's
you
like,
would.
okay,
That's what I was going to ask you.
yeah,
Like, did you get enough? Like, you know?
you know, I don't always take it for granted that I'm going to be able to go back to some place either, because I'm getting old, and it's not the same thing as when you're 20 something and you go, oh, I can come back later. There's lots of other things we want to see too, but
I
I
know,
could
that's the
definitely
problem.
go back. And because there were so many great experiences in England, I would definitely consider going back to England too. I mean, Melinda said she'd like to go, and before she said no, but maybe Scotland. And, I want to go to Ireland to go see where my family's from and stuff like that. So the UK is definitely on our radar, and that's a wonderful thing. But maybe I'll just go a week early and
Oh, that's something. Right. Of
go to the
course.
festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
attend
don't
those
think
classes and
there has
stuff.
to be a foregoing thing. So I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That, as long as it meets everybody's needs,
It's
why
a
not?
possibility. Well, and then I have to wrap it up by saying, I can talk more about this as we go on, but York, the city of York, it's a medieval walled
Mm.
town. That
I
even
wanted to
more,
go to York. I
oh,
did not. Tell me. It was
even
outstanding.
even more than like Halifax. I was describing the old buildings. This, you go to the central core of the town. It's ringed by a medieval wall that you can walk on. It's got the minster, the cathedral, the Anglican cathedral that can just take you back in time. Um, and the Norman castle that's right there. Uh, it's got the Shambles. We stayed in the Shambles, which looks like Harry
Sounds
Potter.
terrible.
Looks like Harry Potterville. You're looking down the streets, and it looks like you're in Harry Potter's time. And it's like, again, that makes you kind of go, I'm just loving all this old. It's amazing because it's like being transported back in time, and I'm there right then and there. So you have all the things of your life right now, but you're also back in time. So it's very cool. It's very cool.
Get to play both sides, the
So,
modern and the old.
so York, you got to go to York then.
Totally aside, but it's the same concept. And I guess this is my inner historian too. So in Norway, my cousin had told me that there's a new tour that's starting up or thing to do. And it's a man who wanted to replicate a Viking ship. So he did this whole thing by hand. And then he's hiring on people to get dressed up like they were in those days. And it's to take people like you and I out there rowing a Viking ship and pretending we're like Vikings. And I'm like, that is so genius. Like, that man is so genius because I want to go. I want to go. I want to go.
It sounds fun. Speaking of Vikings, in York there
Yeah.
is the Viking Center because they made that town too. I forget how they call it, Jorvik. And they had dug up this whole block down in downtown, and they found remains of the city and the people and the daily life and everything. And rather than cover it all up and just move on, a group came in
Oh,
and
that's so
decided to
cool.
preserve this area and reenact it. So it's so
Love
funny.
it.
So we went to it, and it's kind of cheesy because you go on this. It was done back in like 1970s, and it's so much of that time of our time period too, which kind of again relates totally to who I am. But you get in these little carts, you're on a track, and it takes you around, and they have animated figures. Eric the Red and his dog greet you as you're there, and they're moving and telling their story and stuff. And there's a screen in front of you that talks to you, but it takes you back in time. And they did, it's a museum. They call it a museum, not just a ride. So they do, based on the remains of the people, they made characters there, and they, with the woman had a limp, and the man had, so each of these things shows up in the characters, and it was
Are they
cool.
like wax figurines?
They're like Disneyland, they're animated figures like Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. But it's the daily life
that's so neat.
of Vikings, and all the whole set and everything is very, very detailed and very cool. And the funny part was I put a video up, and friends from my junior high school years, they go, "Oh, Kathy and I went there when we were when we went to York." And I'm like, "Okay, this was back in the 70s or 80s that they went. It had to have been the 70s." And I'm like, "Okay, this is so fun." That it's still there. It probably was cutting edge at the time, but it's kind of hokey for us. But for me, it takes me back to the Disneyland time, and yet it was a museum. So it was kind of cool. I enjoyed it.
So, what would be your biggest takeaway? Like if there was like the one thing you had to tell someone about that experience, or what you got from that experience?
I'd say follow your dreams. Do what you got to do. I mean, if you enjoy it, go do it. Yeah, it was very fun, and I learned a lot. I had a great time taking photographs and making videos, and talking with people and learning, and just, I think the whole Gentleman Jack thing, what resonates really hard for me is the visibility. So things have changed even since Gentleman Jack started. That was in 2019. That's not that long ago. But there didn't used to be content, whether it's books or history or TV shows. I mean, it's just out there in the regular
I see
media.
what you're saying.
So it's out there in the regular media. Representation. I mean, this is historical representation, but representation of someone that really resonates for you, someone who you relate to and that you can admire. In this case, Ann Lister and Ann Walker and their marriage, and it was a pretty amazing thing. So representation, and to celebrate that, because you don't see it all the time. And now in today's day, all that stuff's getting shut down. So that makes it even scarier. And there's even talk I saw in the news today that they're talking about revoking the right to be married. So yeah,
we knew that was coming.
Yep. Yeah, if you can reverse Roe v. Wade, you can reverse marriage.
Anything.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for listening. Now let's pack up this week's episode in the trunk.
Ride shotgun and be a part of our adventure by clicking on the plus sign to subscribe and follow our show. This will help our ratings and, more importantly, inspire us to keep creating fun and engaging content. We would love to hear from you in the comments sections, or email us at retiredpodcastnewtread@gmail.com. Use the fast track lane by sharing episodes with friends, family, and anyone who would like to join us on our road trip through re-tirement.
Be sure to check the show notes for links and contact information. Retired is chauffeured by Sue Britz and Tina Lokkbakk. It is produced, directed, and edited by me, Sue Britz. Music and graphics are by me too. Buckle up and tune in next week so that you won't miss your chance to join our retired road trip.